Okay, quickly, we're going to review very fast, and we'll do this faster and faster each time. Remember, it's all about ones and zeros. Writing a program is essentially telling a computer to go fetch an instruction and execute it. There's several layers of programming, machine language being the ones and zeros, assembly language being the next step up, and then there's higher level programming. Remember that memory is a bit, 1 or 0, byte, 8 bits, and then there's kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes. So programming. There's hundreds of languages, generally broken into two categories: compiled, like C and C++ and Java, and then interpreted, HTML, JavaScript, PHP. Also, you write a program in an editor, something like Notepad. Emacs is incredibly complex. We'll eventually move to something in between that. Now, we wrote a program just in Notepad, saved it, and opened it up in a browser, which interpreted it, and it really was programming because we gave it commands. Now, in HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language, all commands are essentially bracketed by this open and close bracket, this less than and greater than sign. So a command is in between those brackets, and there's a begin and an end. So if you have a command, like for example bold, and then everything after that will be bold, and then you close it with that slash and then the command, or the slash B for bold, and everything after it will no longer be bold. So this is very document based, HTML is. So you want to tell it what type of document it is. You want to have a head and you want to have a body. So it's going to look like this. You're going to say doc type HTML is the very first entry in your program, and this is HTML5. There are other parameters you could do for other versions of HTML, but this is telling the interpreter, the browser, that we are doing HTML5. Now, after we have that, we say from here on out you have HTML, and we'll close that. It's the start of the code. After that, we'll have the head, and we'll close that. After we do the title will be what you see up in the tab, and then we'll have the body, and we'll close all of that. So let's look at an example here. So this is the program that my daughter Dakota wrote, and she started it off with doc type HTML. Said from here on out we're going to do HTML. There's the head, and in the head, you see there's the close. We have a title, and the title is Dakota's Programming Station, and she closes the title. And now in the body she has what would be what you would see on the screen. She closes the body and then closes the HTML. Now let's look at that after we saved it. So here is the rendering of that program. You can see that the title up here is Dakota's Programming Station. That's the title. A little long for the tab there, but that's what the title does. And then here is the body of that text. So what I suggest you do is that you look at this and you try different things within this body. What you can also do, which is very interesting, is you can go to any page, like this is Google. So here we are at the Disney site. Looks like they've got a lot of stuff going on here. But if I right click and view page source, again we see this doc type HTML. They got this quote here that does absolutely nothing. It's really interesting, isn't that? Okay, it shows up nowhere. These right here are comments, meaning ignore everything else. And then we've got our HTML. And there's some other parameters in here, like this says it's English. And then we have our head, and then we have our title, Disney.com, and you can see up here, title is Disney.com, and then this bar, and the official home for all things Disney. And you can't even read all of that, but it's there. And then we're not talking about scripts right now, but after we do all of that, we eventually close the head, and then we have our body. And this is where we have a lot of information here, and then at the very end, and there's a lot here, at the very end we're going to finally close the body and close the HTML. So you see, that's exactly how all these programs are written, and it's nice because you can actually see what other people have written. Tomorrow we hope to do something interactive where we can actually click on something.